Take your nourishment from the earth with the sweat of your brow. You have an obligation to work. Physical work is one way, intellectual work is another. Many of you want to move forward and fast forward and want to see change and spiritual evolution and transformation. Yeah, things may happen quickly, but what are you doing to transmute that energy? I've seen so many people praying to God to take away these crystals, sage. And you got to think about it. Were you using your intellect before you jumped the bandwagon thinking it was a trend? This spiritual journey is not a game. You have to work daily. You have to do your shadow work. Your shadow work is to get in tune and in touch with your shadow self, with those parts of you that make you dark. Those hurts, pain, suffering, abandonment, those toxic issues, insecurities, resentment. Resentment is huge. The lies you've told to keep yourself to look good. You have to work both physically and mentally. Without work, you remain stagnant. And you cannot aspire to the higher realm, to the spirits. Because you're not doing the work internally. You're not removing, you're not detoxifying, you're just recycling information that you hear. And my last video where I said I ignore, I choose not to entertain, I choose not to give my energy, it's because before I do so, something in my spirit tells me no. I just finished speaking to someone and I'm like, the look on their face was so innocent that I go, it's a no. I refuse. People will leech onto your energy to recycle the information you give them, not doing the work, and then want to come back and blame you because they jumped the gun. I didn't direct you to do that. I just advise you, if anything, if I can recommend, suggest anything. But what's funny is that a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, don't believe in the Word, don't believe in, yes, granted, do I believe that there were people like us, amongst us, that seen things, testimonies? That's the Bible. They told their own stories. They knew something was in the works. And they were trying to warn us for decades, generations. And we're still not listening. And the days are getting closer and closer and closer. But y'all don't want to hear it though. You just want to see a change. Their lack of foresight and their failure to conform to what you have given them, Lord. Divine Sacred Spirit. These are the results of their own doing. That's exactly what I said in the last video. They have no right to complain about what they brought in their life. You don't know what you play with. I told y'all in many videos prior to that. Do not play with spirit. Do not play with the moon energies. Do not play with these planets. Do not play. Saturn is like testing you to punish you. There's so much. There's 6 freaking planets in retrograde. I believe from June, every month there's a freaking planet in retrograde. But there's 6 at this moment. Till November. And I said, before I took down my Instagram, I said, we're going to have a cold fucking winter, a dark winter. Prepare yourselves. It's not to scare anyone. It's just for preparation. Because what is happening is that the darkness is trying to inflict within the community, within the collective, fear. Love overreigns fear. Love overreigns darkness. Their punishment is equal to their actions. And God, Creator Source, Sacred Spirit, will not abandon us because He is merciful. She is merciful and forgiving. There's certain things you can't entertain. There's certain things that you have to work on. I've been talking about spiritual work, shadow work for the last 3 years. People look at me, others look at me, you look at me like I'm tripping. Spiritual work, shadow work doesn't really hit and start to penetrate and starts to really form no less than 3 years. You'll see it within those 3 years. Every year you'll see a little transformation. But it won't hit that awakening till after the 3 years. And if you've been doing your work for the last 3 years, you know what I'm talking about. And it's not a game. It's not a trend. Prayer must be done. Everything pray for. Worry for nothing. Pray about everything. There's scriptures in the Bible that you'll say, oh snap. Because in the Bible, they used herbs. They used crystals. They used fire. They used water. They used alcohol. They used many of things that we use today to cleanse, to purify, to release,